welcome back to Untitled-2 podcast. My name is Connor.
Il nombre es Ash.
I'm pretty sure that's like bad Spanish.
Probably.
I don't think it actually... I think it says his name is Ash.
I didn't claim to be a good Espanol speaker.
Because it'd be mi nombre, surely.
I don't know.
Yeah,
My name is Ash.
Yeah.
Let's get on with the episode.
So, as I said last time, we've got a couple of films to talk about. Actually, on the podcast episode, when we went to see Deadpool, I was like, okay, we'll go to see Deadpool afterwards.
Yeah, and then we never said anything afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just before that, we've got a question about the cinema.
Yeah.
An inquiry to the world. What's the point in special advanced screenings?
You get to see it first.
No, but... So, like, on a bus, it'll say, in cinemas, July 22nd or something.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, special advanced preview screening, July 21st or something. And it's like, that's in all cinemas. You can see it a day early in all cinemas. So why is it not just out? Why is it a special advanced preview screening if it's just...
Is it not for the people that have those membership cards where they've paid for a whole year to go see any movie they want for free?
No, it's just in the cinema earlier. And it's, I don't understand why. Like,
I'm not sure.
If it was unique to like Odeon or something, Odeon got a deal to put the film on earlier, that would make sense. But when it's in all cinemas, why?
I don't know. I'm out of the loop with cinema culture.
Yeah.
I feel like give it a couple of decades and it won't be a big thing anymore.
It's getting harder to go to the cinema, to be honest. Like, the quality of the cinema that we go to here is going downhill, but the prices are going up because nobody goes there.
Unless you View and you put your prices down.
Yeah, View have made prices for all films like £6, I think it is, or £5.
I think my mum said £5 for a person.
Which is insane, but like, I'd rather just go to this one because it's like walking distance than get a bus to Halifax to go to the View cinema.
Well, because we've got a car, we always drive to the View, and the View cinema is fucking amazing. I love it.
What did we go see there? Was it The Hobbit?
Yeah.
And we didn't pay for the special leather seats, but there was nobody in there, so we went and sat in
anyway, didn't we?
Also, have you ever been to Showcase Cinema in like it's near Leeds? It's like Birstall area.
Yeah, that's the cinema we used to go to all the time before the View.
The fucking seats in there are phenomenal. Like, you can get in a fully reclined, laying down position, roll onto your side in the fetal position, and just like snuggle up and watch the film. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they weren't like that when we went.
Yeah, I went with my mum like last year or something.
Right. We've not been for years to Showcase. Ever
the only thing is, it's like £15 a ticket or something ridiculous. I think it was £17 for we went to see Captain America.
Wow.
2 maybe.
It wasn't like that when we went.
No, but the fact that View have brought the cinema ticket prices down, that is perfect. That's what the cinemas need to do, like, to get people to keep going. Putting the prices up is not going to work. You're just going to be less likely to go.
Yeah, plus I understand why they did it as well, because the cinemas don't make the money on the tickets. They make the money on the food. That's why it's expensive.
Yeah.
Plus, the View does some fucking phenomenal things you can buy there. You can buy hot dogs and, all sorts of really cool shit. Plus, they have it's a really nice cinema. Like, it's in a nice area. It's like there's fucking restaurants all along the side of it. You go in, you go up these fucking escalators, and the fucking lobby is amazing. It's really nice and clean. It's open, and you go and you can buy all sorts of treats there and whatnot, and then you just you round the corner, and then all the screenings are there. You can go whatever screen.
Well, the cinema here is clearly dying. They've hiked the prices up like crazy. You can't get student discount anymore. Not that I'm a student, I don't tell anyone. And I have a My Cineworld account, which used to get me 10% off if I ordered my tickets online. They got rid of that.
Yeah.
You have to have a paid membership to get money off.
My mother has Meerkat Movies.
Hope the mic didn't pick up my stomach then.
Yeah, my mum's got the Meerkat Movies app on her phone.
Yeah, so you get like 2 for 1 or something.
Yeah, because I think she used the compare the market to switch her insurance or something like that. And so she gets 2 for 1 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which is good because we can go as a family. And my dad goes for free because he's the lowest wage earner in the house, because like he's like a bit past it now. He's like 50 odd, almost. I think he's 60 this year.
Or
some
accidents as well.
60 next year. Yeah, and like he's always been a labourer, so his body's really fucked. So you can't do massive work anymore. So he only works like 10 hours a week or something, which is good for him. It gets him out of the house. And you know, he's technically working, so he don't have to claim job seekers and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they won't give him disability, which is bullshit, but whatever. So yeah, whenever we go to the cinema, because I work from home, I can just skip a few hours of work.
Yeah.
We'll go on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and I'll pay for myself, Mum pays for her, and then my dad gets to go for free, which is dope.
Yeah.
And we always go to the View, because those leather seats are brilliant.
Yeah.
Nice big screens as well.
You're a lot nearer Halifax than I am, though.
Yeah, it's not a long drive.
There's one in Leeds, that's even further. But yeah, my point was, the cinema here is clearly dying.
Yeah.
And they're building a new one at Broadway. I hope it's a View cinema, though.
Yeah. Plus, isn't there an IMAX there was in the museum?
Yeah, it's still there. I love seeing films in IMAX. You've got this big curved screen, the audio's amazing.
It's expensive, though, isn't it?
It's not that expensive. It's the fact that the seats are packed so close together. I can't physically sit there.
That'll be why.
Like, if I want to go see a film there, I've got to stand up.
It's a bit of a detour from what we're talking about, but airliners, the way they make their money up is they'll buy a plane off of whoever fucking manufactures them, and the manufacturer
put more seats in.
Yeah, the manufacturer puts the rails in the, you know, obviously in the thing, so you can switch the seats around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they have a recommended guideline for how many seats should be in there and how far apart they should be. But the airliners want to make more money, so they sell more tickets and cram more seats in.
Yeah.
When the manufacturers make the planes, every aisle of seat has a window seat. But when you get on it, you'll have half a window. Because that's how you know they've crammed more seats in. They did a study in the 50s or something like that. You had 80 odd centimeters between you and the fucking next chair. Shit ton of leg room, and now it's at 30 centimeters or something. It's ridiculous.
The buses as well. If you go on a bus, it's I have to sit sideways, which means nobody can sit next to me. Because if I sit forwards, my knees get absolutely fucking shattered sat behind there.
Yeah.
But then every now and then, this big, ugly, old bus from the 80s will rock up, and I'm like, yes! There's so much leg room on those old shitty buses.
The seats are awful to sit in because they're really rigid and shit. But
it's just
leg
a
room.
bit of wood and some cloth on top of it. But
I have the similar problem because I'm just a bit shorter than you.
Yeah.
I can sit. I can sit sideways is the most comfortable way I can sit, but I can sit with my feet in front of me. But I've got to put my legs on the tiptoes so I get a bit more height on my knees, so I can just tuck them in a bit better.
I just find it crazy that people are getting taller.
Yeah,
that's just a fact of life. People are taller now than they were. 20 years ago. But the buses 20 years ago fully accommodate somebody of my height, and the buses today fucking don't.
Yeah, I think it's because more people rely on the public transport now than they did before.
You won't think that's the case, but it's harder to afford a car now, isn't it?
I think people are genuinely getting taller. It's not drastic. I remember when I was in school, and all the young kids started coming into year 7, and I was in year 10, and I've just hit my I'm near the end of my growth spurt, so I'm 6 foot at this point.
Yeah.
And now all these kids are coming in, they're fucking 4'5" and shit like that. Really midget, proper tiny. Smaller than I was when I was at that age, and I was a tiny child.
Yeah.
And it was just fucking hell, people are getting shorter.
That was a weird thing. My year was all these, when we started, we were taller than the kids who were about to leave.
Yeah.
We were all pretty tall as a generation. But then the year below us, the red jumpers.
Yeah.
They were the shortest motherfuckers I've ever seen. There was maybe 1 or 2 tall people in that entire year.
Well, we're the youngest people in our generation, and I think there's something going on with the generation, which I think they're called Generation Z.
Right.
Your sister's a Generation Z. She was like, I'm a millennial. I'm like, no, you're not. But anyway, I think there's something going on with them. They're all premature babies or something like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are short.
I was thinking about generations yesterday. How the generation before us just didn't give a shit about the world.
Yeah.
Our generation is starting to be maybe I should recycle and stuff like that. But then the millennials and Generation Z or whatever, they really care about the world. and it's a really, really good thing, because once we're fucked off, once we've fucked off and stopped ruining the world with the slight hindsight to put a plastic bottle in the right bin, they're gonna, save the planet. Like,
we're millennials.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it to be
Millennials.
I thought I was just on the cusp of not being a millennial.
No, millennials were born between the 80s and early 90s. Like, so say between 85 and 95.
So I'm just on the cusp of not being a millennial.
Yeah, I think the youngest people that are millennials these days are about 23, 24.
Right, I see.
So we're the young ones in the generation.
Okay, so it's Generation Z going to save the planet, basically.
Hopefully. They don't seem to be very bright people.
No, there's a lot of this outrage bullshit. But
Yeah.
I think
that's
generation...
our generation.
I think our generation started it.
Yeah.
And then the next generation will... they came into the world with that being a thing.
Yeah.
And I think the generation after them,
Generation Alpha,
they'll be just as fed up as everybody else with the outrage culture.
Yeah.
That'll fuck off. And what'll be left is people caring about things, like genuinely caring about planets and about the planet, and saving animals and shit. And the world will be a better place for them. But once they get over all these people who have this outrage bullshit, like, most of them will grow up and look back on it and say, oh, how cringy I was. I can't believe I got so angry about that.
Hopefully.
And then there are those, like, obviously Zara, the most famous feminist, who is probably like 40 years old and still, gets outraged by ridiculous things. So.
Yeah.
But it'll pass. It'll pass. And not only will technology be better, but nature will be thriving too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Generation Z, like, the youngest people are like just under 10, so like we can't really judge them fairly yet.
That's just my prediction for the way that culture is heading.
Yeah, but from what I've seen already of Generation Z's online and engagement in social medias and social networks and stuff like that, they don't seem to be a bright lot.
No, I agree.
Like, and I think it's because our generation is unique. We started off in the 90s, early 90s, where we had cassette tapes, videotapes, chalkboards.
Yeah, we have experienced one of the quickest and most phenomenal rises in technology.
When we were born, mobile phones were big fucking blocky things from like late 80s.
And they started shrinking and getting better by the year.
Yeah.
By the next year, you'd have a smaller, better phone.
TVs were like these big CRT things, cathode ray tubes, I think that stands for.
Yeah.
And you turn them on, they go blong, and then there's like a really high-pitched squeal until you tune a channel in.
Yeah, and you run your hand across it, and there's a little crackling. And
I remember, right, which I'd forgotten until you gave me your Dreamcast, right? I remember having to tune in your consoles.
Yes, what a ridiculous... Nintendo 64 was the same.
Yeah, I remember having to do that, and I remember switching over to digital TV. We went through such a massive change in technology in such a short span.
It's ridiculous.
And we were all enthralled by it, so we took the time to learn about it.
Yeah, whereas this current generation, this coming generation, they have no appreciation for the journey it took to get here.
Exactly.
They're just born and they're like, oh, an iPad's a thing.
Yeah, like, you see videos online all the time, like some millennial dig out his old Game Boy and he'll hand it to his young Generation Z daughter who's like 5, and she'll try play it. She's tapping the screen, swiping, and it's not working and stuff like that.
I think most of those videos are fake, but
I think the one where they hand them a cassette tape and they're like, "Where do I plug in the headphones?" I think that's
real.
fake.
Yeah.
But like,
I thought it was real.
I thought it was fake.
Oh well, fair enough.
I mean, how stupid do you have to be to get a cassette tape and be all like,
"Well, I feel like they just assumed it was an MP3 player."
I don't.
Rather than, because if they've never had like VHS tapes and shit, they've never seen a tape and known what it's for. They wouldn't assume you have to put it in something. They would think, oh, the music's on this, and I've got to listen from it somehow.
But like, here's my argument, right? I never witnessed record players, right? But when my parents were digging one out of the attic and they brought it downstairs, and it wasn't the record player; it was the old records themselves. And I was going through the box, and I pulled one out. I looked at it and I was all like, "This is a disc. It has something on it."
Yeah,
you put it on something.
Yeah, but you've used CDs. You know how discs work.
But kids these days, they know what Blu-ray players and stuff are. They've seen people put discs in things.
Yeah.
And
But a cassette's not a disc.
no, but still, you could look at it like and see like, oh, there's film in this.
Your logic's not wrong, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it would happen,
I don't know.
if at all.
Plus, like Betamax, I saw one of those and I was like, that's clearly like you put that in something and it plays something.
Yeah, but it looks like a tape.
I don't know. I don't think it. I think it.
I love the story of how that industry died.
Yeah, I was telling my parents that the other day, and they were shocked. But no,
I suppose we should probably tell it on the podcast for those that don't know. So
Yeah.
basically, what was it called? Betamax, yeah.
Betamax, yeah.
Was a rival to VHS, and the thing that killed the Betamax industry was that the
Allegedly,
manufacturers refused to.
I think
pawn
Betamax,
Betamax
was owned by. Was it owned by Sony?
potentially.
I think it was. I feel like that's right. I'm not sure.
But yeah,
fact check everything we say. But yeah, I think Sony didn't want to allow porn distributors to put porn on it.
Yeah, so they went for VHS, which obviously people rented a lot of porn
because I think
tapes.
on paper Betamax was more advanced than VHS.
Yeah, it was better quality, I believe.
Yeah, but then obviously no porn, no sales, so
yeah,
VHS won.
Killed them out. Anyway, go on. What were we saying?
Oh yeah, the cassette one where there's like where do I plug in? I think that's fake. Like the kids would have realised they've been recorded and would have played on it. I think, but like handing
maybe
a young 5-year-old girl an old Game Boy from the 90s and having her immediately touch the screen, that's believable because everything is touchscreen now.
Yeah,
you can get fridges with a fucking touchscreen monitor on it, so you can check what's in your fridge and shit like that. But yeah, this all came from talking about cinemas somehow.
Yeah, because we were going to talk about Deadpool 2 and
Yeah.
Infinity War. So
Should we talk about Infinity War first, since it's the oldest one?
yeah, sure.
I have an interesting topic to kick it off with.
Just a heads up for everybody listening, though, we are going to talk Infinity War spoilers.
Yeah, there will be spoilers, so
Yeah.
if you don't want to listen to spoilers, you're not seeing it somehow, you're the person in the world that's not seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or had it spoiled for
just
you
don't
already.
listen to this episode. You're probably not missing anything.
Oh, wow.
Like you're probably missing something not watching it. It was a decent movie, but not missing anything from listening to us talk about it. Anyway, the interesting thing I want to say that kicks off this topic is there's a guy in California who's seen Infinity War 43 times.
What?
He's seen it 43 times
Why?
already, because he's the world's biggest Marvel fan or something like that.
No, you're not.
Which I don't know how many days it's been out now, but when I heard about it, he's seen it more times than the number of days it's been out. So he's seen it multiple times in one day.
Wow. I can't do that, man. I can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I used to when I was a kid. That's probably why I can't do it today, because it was my sister used to make us watch the same
Like,
VHS all day.
Do you think that means he's seen it every single day at least once? Or like he's seen it multiple
Yeah.
times in one day and then not gone the next day and then watched it multiple
Maybe,
times
yeah.
again?
There's plenty of hours in a weekend.
Yeah, do you think he works throughout the week, and then on the weekend he just pulls up at the cinema, buys a ticket, watches it comes out, buys another ticket, watches it, buys another ticket, and he's like, I'm hungry, let's go, like pizza or something.
And he just eats popcorn all weekend.
Yeah. But that's insane. I get seeing it more than once. I've done it.
I want to see it again.
Yeah.
I think it was really good. There was probably a lot of things I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah. But like we've all seen movies in cinemas more than once when it's been out. I've done
Yeah.
it a few times in my life. But like seeing it 43 times.
I know. I bet he can. I used to watch Lord of the Rings so much that when I couldn't sleep,
I
I would just watch it in my head, sort of thing. And that always put me to sleep. I bet
Yeah.
he can do that with Infinity War. He
Probably.
don't need to go anymore.
Yeah. Maybe that's his plan. He loves it so much, but he don't want to keep paying the prices. Like,
Yeah.
eventually, I'm going to get to a point where I could just remember every single second of it. But yeah, 43 times is ridiculous. Wait until the Blu-ray comes out. You can watch it as many times as you want.
Yeah.
Although 43 times still, I've probably not seen a single movie 43 times. Even my favourite movies, I've not seen that many times.
I don't think I've seen
It ruin it.
a fucking Image 43 times.
I probably have. I mean, like
No, obviously.
Every now and then you'll hear
wallpapers and
there'll be a really good song you like, and you'll listen to it a few times over a period of a week or a month or
shit.
whatever,
And then you hate it.
and then like you'll forget
Like
about
that
it.
fucking J. Cole album I left on yesterday,
yeah.
and it would just play it all night.
Still a good
Well, I
album.
still really like it.
I don't hate it, but like
But if
we
we
left
kept
it on-
listening to it,
but yeah, like you'll listen to a song over and over again, you really love it, and you'll forget about it. You'll come back to it a month later, and it just doesn't have that same initial feeling because you're just like, oh, it's this song again.
yeah.
So like, has he not got that fucking fatigue from seeing it so many times?
I don't know, man. It's weird.
I would. I mean, I had fatigue seeing Deadpool, and I saw it twice.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've seen it about 5 times now, and
What, Deadpool 2?
no, Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool
You've
1.
seen Deadpool 2 twice?
Saw it with you.
Oh,
And then,
right, yeah, you went with me.
and then my parents were going to go see it with my parents anyway on a Tuesday. But I saw it with you first, and I knew that if I didn't go with them, they probably would have sacked it off. So I was like,
You wanted them to see it.
yeah, I wanted them to see it, and I wanted to see it. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Like I would have definitely seen
I
it.
didn't know you've seen it twice. I
So
want to see it again because I
Yeah.
don't remember a whole lot of it.
so I went and watched it again, second time. It's still funny, just as funny second time around.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like if it hadn't been a Deadpool film, the way that it ended, sort of post credits,
yeah,
would have ruined it. Because we hate when that kind of thing happens, like when it happened in Misfits.
yeah,
It's just pointless. But because it's Deadpool, and
Yeah.
all the jokes and the fun adventure you had is still there, it's okay, sort of thing. Because you're not as invested in the story. You're there for the ha-has.
yeah. But anyway, Infinity War. You've already said that you liked it, so
I did really like it. Yeah.
I went into it thinking that everyone was just overhyping it, because that's the thing with Marvel movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I've been guilty of that a couple of times as well.
but I was also still excited to see it, so I went in with kind of like 50% negative feelings towards it and like 50% positive.
Mm-hmm.
And it did end up being a pretty good movie. There was a lot of things I think I'd change, but by the end of it, it was still interesting to watch. It was exciting, and
What things would you change?
so it's not just in Infinity War, it's a thing that's happening across the whole Marvel movie thing. I think nanotechnology, anything, the way
Is
they portray
lazy.
it in Hollywood is lazy.
Yeah.
Having Iron Man's suit act like a liquid and just form around him and just build up a tool on his arm that he needs whenever he wants,
Yeah.
it's just lazy.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. Like, I don't know. But it made for a cool scene when
Yeah.
Thanos is punching chunks of armor off him. But like you said, this it would have still worked.
Exactly. The new Venom movie that's coming out or is out or whatever.
I think it's out. Is it out?
I don't know. By the time this goes out, it might be out.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? But like, if his suit acts like that in Venom, it makes sense because it's a symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
If they use nanotechnology, I'll fucking kill someone. I swear down. But like for a mechanical object, it's very lazy. Like, do you remember that scene? I think it was the second Iron Man, where he somehow ended up on a racetrack and he needs to get in his Iron Man suit, so he just whips open a briefcase, throws it on the ground.
That was way cooler.
Stands in it, puts his hands in it, just fucking unfolds around him. That was amazing.
Yeah, a lot.
Imagine
cooler.
that scene where he just steps out and just like it's like liquid just going all over him. And it's like,
Oh,
I'm
sorry about
suited up.
the boy racer.
Yeah, if you even heard it. But yeah, so I'm not a fan of the fucking nanotechnology liquid shit that's going on.
Yeah, it's a meme about Metal Gear Solid that whenever there's a technology that they can't explain, someone just goes nanobots.
Yeah.
But I think in some cases it's kind of all right. Like
If they do it
Spider-Man's suit, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But with Iron Man, there's something really off about it. Who else had nanotech? There was somebody else on there.
The fucking Black Panther Wakanda
Oh
prince.
yeah, don't give a shit about him. Wakanda forever.
I also would have changed the casting for Atri or Sindri, whoever he's supposed to be. I think it said Atri, but Atri is Sindri.
Yeah,
in a way.
isn't it? Yeah.
Because, like, I don't understand how Peter Dinklage can be a brilliant actor in Game of Thrones,
And awful everywhere else.
but just abysmal everywhere else. There was a part where it was supposed to be a high tension thing. I can't remember what he said, but Thor was going to do something, and it was insane. And instead of being like, "You can't do that, that's fucking mental," it was just all like, "That is really insane." And it's like, wow, put some passion in your voice, man. Plus, he made the axe hammer thing. Spoilers.
Well, fucking hell, mate.
From a mold, and that is not how you make a sturdy weapon. You never make a weapon from a mold. But I get how it was, you know, like, cool and whatnot.
And Groot gave his hand for the axe handle.
But yeah, just other minor things that didn't really change the story. I would have for definitely added more scenes of Thanos being a humanizing, like, you know, because like he did care for
Gamora. That was the best thing about, well, one of the best things about the film is that the villain wasn't just some evil cunt who had evil intentions.
Yeah,
he's just in a mood. He justified it, and fair enough. Like, it's still not a good enough justification, but you can see how he could come to that conclusion and not think he's evil. Like, think he's right and everybody else is wrong. They just don't understand because they haven't been through what he's been through, and it's better for them in the long run, sort of thing.
Yeah, his motive definitely doesn't hold up very well, but I did appreciate the fact that they tried to make him more human.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like they could have done more. It was just like, "Oh, I'm here to genocide your planet. Hello, new daughter." And like, he didn't explain why he wanted to save her or anything like that. He just did.
Yeah, I get what you mean. When he picked Gamora up,
yeah, and one of the biggest spoilers is like when he throws her off the edge.
Oh, what a fucking... obviously, my favourite character is the Guardians of the Galaxy, so that was like... that was rough, man. That was really rough.
Yeah, like, I felt like that was handled pretty decently.
Yeah.
Because, like, she was like, there's no one you love, and he's like, yes, there is, bitch. But he was like, he did it, and he like didn't want to do it, but he has a purpose that he feels like. I'd have really enjoyed it so much more if he wavered a little bit, like, oh, maybe my goal isn't worth it.
Yeah.
But then ultimately just the power won over.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd also like it if he just halfway through, like, maybe at that point he realized it wasn't about fixing the universe. He wanted the power more than that. And that's why he could have wavered, like, oh, maybe the universe isn't as worth as much to me as my surrogate daughter. But then, like, he's like, all that power, though, and then throws her off the edge or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, because that is a lot of power. Anyone would go crazy with that power. I fucking would. I'd be just all day long.
How weird is it that Red Skull's just randomly there, though?
Yeah, like,
is that like a thing from the comics? It just didn't really make that much sense. He
I
was cursed by the Tesseract to guard the Mind Stone.
It showed up, and I was like,
not the Mind Stone, what
Soul
like, Stone.
Yeah, I was like, this guy looks familiar. Oh my god! It was when he spoke, and it was like, oh, that's Hugo Weaving. That's fucking, oh my god, from that one awful movie, the fucking Captain America one. Bit weird that the stones have agendas, like they can just be like, oh, you're a dickhead, I'm cursing you.
Yeah.
Because then, like, why would they be like, oh yeah, let's just sit in this guy's gauntlet and let him destroy the universe?
Oh, let's sit on this guy's forehead.
Yeah, and let him be a fucking arsehole who's like, I don't know.
Really what do you think? You think Vision's dead? You think he's done?
I don't think any of them are truly dead, obviously.
I think Gamora's dead.
Maybe.
I think anybody who died in the snap
is not dead.
Is not dead. That's reversible. But I think there are some that are dead. If Vision's dead, then he's dead.
Yeah.
If he's not dead, and whatever that girl whose name I can't remember, whatever she did, with Wakandan technology, it seemed like she was done when she stopped. So I reckon she's got like a backup of Jarvis or something, and either he'll come back as just being Jarvis again, or they'll get Vision functional again.
Yeah, without the stone.
Without the stone, yeah.
That's what I was thinking, because, like, the whole idea was that they were going to try and separate his, I don't know, like, his conscious from the fucking machine or something like that.
Yeah.
But, like, it did seem like she was finished, whatever she was doing, and then he goes and they're like, oh, you got to destroy the stone anyway, and it's like, okay, but I'm sure we were doing that so we didn't have to. Like, we could separate you and destroy it safely or something like that.
Yeah. Who else died for good? There was somebody else on there. Loki.
Oh, Loki, yeah.
And the fucking Asgardians as well. What a weird... Because that is the end of Thor. Now.
Yeah, I felt like it was like, well, everything that happened in Thor Ragnarok wasn't really worth it because they all died anyway.
Yeah. Plus, in the comics, the story of Thor setting up a new Asgard on Midgard is really, really cool. It's such a good story, and I was looking forward to maybe getting a bit of that at some point. But
like, move over, Wakanda. We've got a new super society on Earth.
It's set up in like Nevada desert or something.
Yeah.
Probably not specifically that, but
no, but rings a bell. I didn't read anything about it, but like I think I've seen things online about it.
Of the comics that I've preserved and managed to keep with me over the years, that's one of them. So
yeah. I also would have had the Hulk show up at some point rather than just at the beginning getting his fucking ass kicked. But I feel like maybe that was just budget constraints. Like, oh, we've got so much CGI, we can't animate the Hulk as well. Yeah, because
Bruce had to be Hulkbuster, didn't
he? Yeah.
Which I feel like is probably more...
No, because, like, metal reflects and it's easier to throw in a shader that reflects and then animate it. But, like, Hulk's got skin, it's got a ripple, it's got to fucking have all these textures on it, veins have got to pop and whatnot.
Oh, I fucking love whenever Hulk throws a punch and when his arm stops, there's this huge, like, fucking... It looks like there's an explosion inside his arm from his muscles, like, rippling.
Yeah.
It's so realistic and
so like
powerful. It's crazy.
And it's not just like you're throwing a shader on a skin. You've got to like simulate the light bouncing off it and all that shit. Like the subsurface stuff. Yeah. So I feel like it would have been a lot harder to animate Hulk. Plus, he's got hair as well, and hair's hard to animate. Cloth physics, whereas he's in the Hulkbuster, he's just in this big metal thing. Going on what you said about Gamora being properly dead, I hope, if that's the case, in the next installment, when they're about to fucking, get their win and everyone's coming back and whatnot, like, Star-Lord's super happy that Gamora's going to come back, and then when she's done, is like super fucking broken about it. Like, it's going to be awful to watch because it's characters you care about, but it'd be so powerful, and it proves that Marvel's more than just a fucking CGI blockbuster. Yeah. Like, it's got heart and it knows that we care and stuff like that.
There's a few things I want to get said.
Go on.
So James Gunn revealed, everybody must know this by now, but when Groot was dusting, he said something to Rocket, and the translation of that was "Dad."
Yeah.
Which is heartbreaking. I just fucking tooth whistled like Herbert the Pervert. What? Yeah, fucking Star-Lord. Everybody is like, oh, if Star-Lord didn't ruin it, they would have got the glove off, etc., etc. Fair enough, fair point. But Star-Lord has gone his entire life losing everybody he loves. His mum died, right? He got his dad back. Well, he got his dad, and he was super happy. Yeah. Turned out his dad was a cunt. He had to kill him himself. His fucking surrogate father then died in one of the most depressing scenes to ever happen in a Guardians of the Galaxy film. And then fucking he found love, and she's been killed off as well. So whatever they do in the next Guardians of the Galaxy, it's going to be such a change of fucking
maybe Nebula will take a place.
Nebula's probably going to take a place in the team. In a few comics, I think Mantis and Star-Lord have a thing together, but Mantis is totally with Drax. So I don't know. Maybe they'll throw in a new character. Adam Warlock as well. We're still yet to see where he fits into everything. The Marvel, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, fucking whatever other Marvel boy. They usually have something to do with like Nova Corps and thus Guardians of the Galaxy. So there'll probably be some connection there.
That's the big theory about the next movie, isn't it? Like, because in the comics, doesn't obviously Captain Marvel goes to train with the Nova Corps.
Yeah.
And then I think that's what people are thinking is going to happen with like where she is now. She's training with them, and she's going to come back and save everyone.
Yeah, I watched a video. I think it might have been Watch Mojo of like top 10 superheroes who've beat Thanos.
Yeah.
And Adam Warlock was in there. And Adam Warlock has been was in the end of credits, well, hinted in the end of credits scene for first Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't know. Nobody's theorizing it though, so I feel like maybe I'm missing something if nobody else is saying that.
I think we should talk about the big scene in Infinity War.
Yeah, go on. I had another thing to say, but we'll come back to it.
Where the fucking our sweetheart Tom Holland's Spider-Man got dusted.
It was improvised.
And it was improvised, this whole, like, I don't want to go speech thing.
It was just... I don't feel so well, Mr. Stark.
Yeah, when that meme... Because that meme came out a few days after the movie
memes
was
ruin
out.
everything.
And everyone was, like, they were replacing it with, like, obviously, Hanzo got his scatter shot taken off in Overwatch. And there was just an icon of his scatter shot, and it's like, I don't feel so well, Hanzo. And it's like, dusting.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, because it says Mr. Stark. I saw the first one said Mr. Stark or something like that, but it was from a different. The thing being dusted was from something else or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, I can totally hear Spider-Man say that.
Yeah.
And so throughout all throughout the movie, every time he got close to fucking getting killed, I was like, no, don't do it. We're fine. We made it through. And then at the end scene, they all started getting dusted. I was like, oh, shit on it. Shit on it.
We should talk about Friday Night Dinner at some point.
And then it happened, and then I was just expecting him to just get dusted off. Like, fine, fair enough. Like, oh, I don't feel well, gone. But he was like, no, I don't feel well. Please don't make me go. And he starts crying. I'm like, oh, fuck me. And you just know it's going to be so much worse for Tony Stark, because he's like a father to the kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and,
well, I've said it before, but he's the new Uncle Ben, isn't he?
Yeah, and like, he told the kid to go, obviously, and he tried to go, but the kid stayed around, and he was like, fair enough, I'll let you stay. And that's going to eat away at him, that he let the kid stay, and now he's dead and whatnot. But obviously it's not going to eat away for too long.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, like, the way Tony is going to feel because of that. It must be nothing like what fucking Thor feels like. The survivor's guilt that Thor must have. His brother died. His people died.
Yeah.
And if he'd aimed for the head, as Thanos so eloquently put it, all these other people wouldn't have died. Thor must feel so shit.
I feel like Thor's more equipped to deal with it, though. Like, he's been...
Well, I don't know, because you do see him really struggling with it, like, in the wake of the Asgardians being wiped out.
Yeah, but I mean, like...
It was perfect of them to put Guardians in at that point, because Guardians are the ultimate, like, comic relief.
Yeah.
It's like I've said it before, but in Guardians of the Galaxy films, whenever something sad or too serious happens, there's somebody there to sort of break the ice, and it's perfect as well. It's not done in like a Disney way when you've got this goofy character that makes everyone laugh or whatever and relieves the tension,
and then literally names them Goofy.
Yeah. It's like done really well, like when Nebula is telling us what her agenda is and how she really feels and stuff, and then there's that Ravager guy who's just like, cool.
Yeah. I was gonna say something about Thor. Yeah, he's commanded like armies and shit before, because obviously he's an Asgardian, and so I feel like even though he'll feel guilty, he'll understand that, you know, he didn't really have that much agency over what happened. He could have gone for the head, but he also went for the chest, and it's just like a thing that happens.
Yeah.
He thought it might have killed him in that moment or whatever, but it didn't. But like Tony, he was just a businessman before all this. So, and like he had a really personal connection with Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So like, because he picked him up out of fucking New York and made him a superhero, basically, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the kid was doing it by himself, but he basically gave him the tools to get better at it and stuff. So he feels more personally responsible for what happened.
He's also very protective of Spider-Man. He never wants to put him into the like big fights and stuff. Most of the time, actually, whenever Tony turns up and Spider-Man's in a proper superhero fight, Tony's trying to get Peter out of it.
Yeah. I did like how Thanos said, because I think someone asked him like, what happens after you've completed your task, and he's all like, I'll wake up in one like sunny morning or whatever, and I'll look in the sky and I'll smile or something. And the last scene, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
I was hoping the smile would drop from his face.
Yeah, and
like
just be like, oh shit.
Yeah, but like, it's not even that fucking
It
good,
don't
is it?
feel as good as I thought it would.
But yeah, there's probably loads more we've not talked about. But we're like we're on 40 minutes roughly now. So
Wow.
let's talk about Deadpool 2.
Yeah, go for it.
I think it's just as good, if not slightly better than the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't feel like it failed the first one in any way at all. So like it's probably mostly preference now, whether you prefer the first one or second one.
It just it felt like the humor in Deadpool had matured. Like, it was such a unique type of film. It was new.
Yeah.
It was something. It was something that wasn't really done before, because you don't really have that platform to do that kind of thing. But then Deadpool was this perfect platform to bring this whole new breath of life to the superhero genre, a comedy no less, and it was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Like all the jokes, all the sense of humor that it had been refined and brought back even stronger for the second film.
Yeah, I feel like it was more personal as well this time around the story. Are we talking about spoilers?
Oh, I don't know. It seems a bit, because we gave InfinityWar such a long time to air out.
Deadpool didn't come out that long after InfinityWar, did it?
It was like a week after, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. Yeah.
I guess let's not spoil how it ends.
I did say. Let's say we can spoil jokes, but not story.
Okay. Well, I'll just say then that, like, in the first one, it was a very simple, like, MacGuffin type story. It was like, oh, girlfriend's been stolen, go get her back.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, sort out the guy who made you, like, an ugly fucking mozzarella pizza or whatever. This time around, it felt like it had more of a personal story to it.
Yeah.
And it was more cinematic in how it told that story.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of Deadpool just, like, giving you exposition, like, right to your face, it showed you a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like the jokes were pretty cool. Yeah. There is one scene, right, that's not really a spoiler, it's a gag sort of thing.
Yeah.
In the first movie, he said to... I forgot the blind lady's name.
Yeah, yeah.
But he said, before he went to go have the big show down at the end of the movie, he's all like, oh, by the way, I've hidden, like, so many pounds of cocaine, so much money, and the cure for blindness in the apartment somewhere. Good luck finding it.
Yeah.
And it was just like a throwaway gag at that point. But in this, there's a scene where he sneaks back into the apartment after something happening, and he opens a floorboard, and there's pounds of cocaine in there. There's a shit ton of money, and he grabs a fucking pound of cocaine or whatever, and there's a tin there that's got a strip of tape on it, and on the tape it says "Cure for Blindness," which I thought was massively hilarious when I saw it.
Yeah, that's great.
But I was laughing and no one else were laughing, and I looked around, people were just looking like I was an idiot. I was like, no one see that. Idiots. I also really liked how he took the cocaine, by the way. He just shoved it in his punched it in his face.
How Kratos would do cocaine.
Yeah. And then half of the universe dies.
Kratos.
Kratos. I said
It's not
Thanos.
Thanos.
Sorry. Kratos wouldn't do cocaine.
No, but if he did.
I bet Kratos is the type of guy to be
He
all like...
wouldn't, like, divvy it up on table, would he, and snort it?
No,
He'd just
but
grab it by the pound and
I
slam
reckon
it into his
he'd be the
face.
sort of guy who'd be all like, my body is a temple, boy. But yeah, Deadpool 2. What was your favourite joke, if it's not too spoilery?
I don't know, the one that springs to mind that was really good. Obviously, in the first one, he was whinging that there wasn't enough budget to get any X-Men around, and the mansion's always empty, but like in an X-Men film, it's always packed full of people and students and stuff. And then he goes again, and this time he's a bit more direct about it. He's not just saying, have you noticed how this place is always empty? He's just like, the studio couldn't afford enough budget to get any real goddamn X-Men around here. And then the camera just looks to his right, and the full cast of like X-Men First Class is stood in there, and Beast just goes over and shuts the door.
Yeah. Like no, they had fucking obviously they had James McAvoy, they had the Beast,
Mm-hmm.
Quicksilver was there.
Yeah.
Like it was, and they're all just stood around like, and then he just goes and closes the door, and Deadpool don't even notice.
Yeah,
and then he's like, they ask him to stay at the X-Men mansion. And he goes and hugs Colossus and grabs his bum. Like, I thought that was hilarious. And Colossus tries to move his hand away, but he puts it back and he's like, whatever.
It's just like...
Yeah. Yeah, I like... I think the joke that I think a lot of people just lost their shit on when we saw it was he called his fucking cab driver. He called him Brown Panther or something like that because he wants to be a superhero.
Yeah.
And he's like,
all right, calm down, Brown Panther.
Yeah, calm down, Brown Panther. And the whole cinema lost the shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he also non-spoilerish thing. You've probably seen it in the trailer. They end up in like a prison of sorts, and there's a young kid there, and he's like,
yeah.
when I'm gone, the only thing that you're gonna win or something like that is softest mouth of the icebox or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh. Did you like that kid? You think he was a cool kid?
No, he was a shit character.
I felt like I mean like the kid's acting though. Like, do you reckon it was good enough?
It was like South African or something, wasn't it? Or New Zealand.
New Zealand, I think he was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just liked how 1 second he's like he doesn't know what he's doing, the next second he's just faking it till he makes it. Yeah. And he's all like, I stashed a weapon in the old prison wallet, if you know what I'm saying. He's like, a minute ago, I'm pretty sure you were upset about something. Stop trying. But yeah, it's funny. I liked Cable as well. I think Josh Brolin was the best choice. Yeah, that's his name, right? Josh Brolin.
Yeah, he played Thanos as well.
Yeah.
So. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, it's that backpack, and they'll call it a fanny pack.
There's speaking of Dupinder, the cab driver. He's just like doing chores for Deadpool and Thingy's character, the guy that went to prison.
T.J. Miller.
Saying there was a bomb on a train. Yeah, T.J. Miller. So he's just doing chores for them to like try and get his superhero status and like be let into the gang or whatever. And they're doing auditions for people to join the X-Force. And one of the guys that turns up is just a standard guy and is like, oh, what's your power? He's like, oh, nothing. I'm just...
And he was like, did you serve in like the military or anything like that?
He's
like, nope.
Just perfectly standard guy.
He's like,
and
you're in.
Vinder's like, oh, come on.
I like, there's like this guy's called the Vanisher and he's an invisible guy and he's all like, oh, the Vanisher, I get it, you're hired. And this silence is all like, maybe he's running late. And then they're on the
Terry Crews is in it as well.
Yeah, they're on the plane like after they've formed the team and that, and you don't know whether Vanisher actually showed up or not. But then you see there's a parachute just attached to nothing, just floating around. So he showed up at some point. Did you like Domino? I thought Domino was pretty cool.
Yeah, Domino was really... Yeah, she was really cool in the comics as well.
I like the whole dispute about luck not being a power.
Yeah.
And then it just ends up working out really well for her.
That is a really cool power, though. It's like it's like watching Final Destination, but everything goes right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think they should give her her own spin-off movie.
Yeah, that would...
Because that'd be brilliant.
I could watch that for like 3 hours, man. That'd be awesome.
Just everything's going perfectly fine.
Or like a fucking... If they did like a Jessica Jones type Netflix series about Domino.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I don't know, man. Like, I love the chase in a truck. It's in the trailer. It's not a massive spoiler. And they're having a dispute, like, looking at you in a power, and she's like, yeah, it is. And he's like, well, whatever. Just look out for the truck and use your super fake power to stop it or something like that. And she just, like, dives in the truck, and he's still ranting about it. And she's like, I'm in. And he's all like, oh, okay.
You know, at the end of the film, I won't say how, but Deadpool's suit changes colour.
Yeah.
That's what colour his suit is in X-Force comics.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. I noticed it at the cinema, but everyone I've tried to talk about it afterwards has been like, what?
No way.
So I thought, it was an obvious thing. But...
Yeah. Is the kid...
I might even be wrong.
Is the kid like an actual villain in a comic, or did they make it up for the movie? Or what?
I don't know. I feel like they made up that skinhead girl as well. I feel like she's not anything in the comics.
Oh,
she might be now.
Negasonic Warmind or whatever.
Yeah.
What happens when she's not a teenager? Like when she's not a teenager? Adult Negasonic Warmind.
Ex-teenager Megasonic Warmind.
I liked her girlfriend in it. That was pretty funny. She was, like, super
and
happy
she
all
like
the time.
really liked Deadpool.
Yeah. Hi, Wade.
And she was like the polar opposite of
Yeah.
Negasonic, whatever.
He's such a like an abrasive type personality, but he always was super sweet to. She's called Yukio, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever she's like, "Hi, Wade," he's like, "Hi, Yukio." He's like super happy to see her. But yeah, I don't know.
One of the best things about Deadpool is how they animate the eyes in his mask. Like, it would be such a different film if they didn't do that.
Yeah, definitely. There was so many like jokes in it that were amazing. Like, it's not like everything was a gag. They were just part of the dialogue. Would just he'd slip a joke in.
Yeah.
Like, there's a beginning montage bit, and he's in like a little club, and he jumps behind the bar after they all try to shoot him, and he says to the waitress like, "I want this and that and this in a cup and he's in a glass," and he's like, "I know it's called a sea spray or something stupid like that, some erotic name," and he's like, "Just don't make me say it." And then he gets up and starts killing everyone. He's all like, "I'm here to take the hands out of the guns of the criminals," and he's chopping off all their hands. You know, it's shit like that is what makes it funny.
Yeah,
like things where if you're just not paying attention, you won't hear it. Like if you're doing something off to the side.
Yeah. How far in are we?
50 minutes.
Right. Well, I've got a few more things I wanted to talk about, so maybe we should move on from.
Go for it.
So, I've recently watched season 2 of Jessica Jones.
Yep.
It's really good. I'm not going to say spoilers, not because I'm worried about spoiling it for people, because it's been out for ages, and I've only just watched it, but because I kind of want you to watch it as well.
Right, okay.
So, just to summarize the whole season, there's no hero and there's no villain. Like,
Okay.
there are people in the hero role, Jessica Jones and
Yeah.
what's her friend called?
Blonde chick.
Patsy, Trish Walker. And then there are people in the villain role, these new villains.
Yeah.
But everybody's done bad shit, and everybody's done good shit. The fucking line between hero and villain was so blurred for like 80% of the season.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. Like, constantly being in, like, the show doesn't really do it for you. There's no moral well, some of the characters have like moral arguments with themselves, but there's no moral dispute like in your face about who you should be rooting for and who you shouldn't be rooting for. You're questioning everybody, even Jessica. You're like, oh, is this right? Should she be doing that sort of thing? You're questioning everybody, like who's in the right here, who's in the wrong, who should be punished, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it was just really good because they left you to do that yourself. Like, obviously there's a resolution. And obviously the obvious people are still there. The obvious people have, been dealt with. But everybody sort of suffered in a way.
Yeah.
So nobody came out on top, which was really interesting. Also, they brought Kilgrave back, but not back from the dead.
Right.
The way they do it is awesome. So Jessica's having obviously moral dilemmas inside her own head, and she goes schizo for a while, and Kilgrave is there as sort of the devil on her shoulder.
Right.
But it's not just like in her head, sort of. Well, he's in her head, but it's not just an internal thing. Like, she goes crazy at some points, and she'll like talk to him out loud and have an argument with him out loud, sort of thing. And it's just really cool that they brought him back in that way. So he's still there, because he was obviously the best thing about Jessica Jones season 1.
I wasn't a fan of the actor though.
Well, fair enough. Well,
not because he's a bad actor. Just I couldn't get him the idea of him being Doctor Who out of my head.
I don't see him as Doctor Who anymore. I've seen him out of many other things. Like the penultimate role of David Tennant for me now. He was my favourite Doctor, actually, but him as Kilgrave was awesome.
Yeah.
Just really awesome. And he didn't have to put on some fake accent. He just was himself with his full Scottish going on.
I don't know. Maybe I think my favourite portrayal is him as Barty Crouch Jr. for all of like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was an okay Doctor, and it was okay as Kilgrave, I suppose. I don't really remember much from the first season. I remember they killed him though, and when you said like Kilgrave's in it, I was like, what?
No. Yeah, I was worried as well because I saw him in the credits at one point, and I was like, Oh, they're not going to bring him back, are they? But the way they did it was amazing. It was really good. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to push you to watch it.
What
Like, if
was
you're not interested, then don't. But it was really good.
What was the gimmick for him controlling him or something like that?
What do you mean?
Like there was
the gimmick. What?
the way they defeated him in the first season.
Oh, she was just immune to it because they'd done that much shit to her. I guess she was just in shock.
Yeah, because the gimmick was she noticed that he touched her or something like that, and he had no control over when he told her to stop or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to keep it a secret or something because he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some loophole. Yeah, you're right.
There was something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But anyway, let's move on to something else.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
If you've got something else to talk about.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Detroit?
Without spoiling it.
Without spoiling it, because I haven't finished it yet.
I feel like Quantic Dream has found, like, they're getting really close to that balance between cinematic storytelling and gameplay.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, mate. When I was playing Beyond Two Souls, all I wanted to do was to see that chapter end.
Yeah.
Scene and its title, and I was like missing things because I was just rushing through what I needed to do to get through that bit of the story, especially the fucking, what was it, Navajo.
That chapter was so long and bullshit.
But when I was playing Detroit, there's a bit where you're playing as the blonde maid AI. What's she called?
Kara.
You're playing as Kara.
Yeah.
In her new home.
Yeah.
And you're told to clean up.
Yeah.
And there's some things you have to clean up, and there are a lot of things you don't really do. It's optional. I had the time of my life walking around that house and like finding shit and like putting pizza boxes in the bin that's way too small to fit a pizza box in.
Yeah.
And I was like, have I done all the optional shit? I don't want to do this bit until like, where's the Hoover?
Yeah. But yeah, like, I think the best way to play it is definitely on casual, because
there's a lot less gimmicky, like throwing your controller around.
Yeah, I played it on experienced.
I didn't.
On experienced, it don't show you as many tips when you're using the Android Vision thing. Like not a lot of UI tips and stuff. But you also, when you're doing a fight and whatever, it'll randomly tell you you've got to fucking swing your controller like 90 degrees really fast, and it's just, I play with my hands on the desk, and like having to do that, I'll fucking whack my mouse or something like that, or I'll have a cup of coffee next to me, and I'll go to do it, and I'm like, oh shit, coffee's there, and I'll fail the QTE.
Yeah.
So playing on casual is definitely the best way to do it.
Is there a trophy for doing it on?
There's no difficulty specific
Alright,
trophy.
well, I'm probably not gonna use the gesture controls at all.
Yeah, that's what we figured out last time. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's definitely a game I'm going to go back to in the future.
Yeah, I'm really enthralled by it. I'm excited to go back and play it again. I'm going to start from the beginning and involve my girlfriend this time, because I think she'll really be into the story as well. But I'm more into it for the story.
The story is really good.
Yeah, if it was a film, I'd still be as into it as I am the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's not because I can play it that I want to go back to it.
I don't know if I said it on a podcast, but the reason why the story is much better this time around, is because David Cage has always written the story himself.
But he's got a team.
But he brought a team in this time.
Sorry about the sirens.
Even though in the credits it's still him as a single credit for writing, even though he had a team of people helping him. But yeah, I think that's better, because he would have had ideas, he would have bounced them off them, and they'd be like, no, maybe this, and he'd be like, yeah, that's much better, and vice versa. It just goes around in a circle until the best possible story that they could come up with has been written and told. And I really did like it. It's there's a lot of different ways it can play out. There's some chapters where it plays out in two ways. The two ways are pretty much the exact same outcome, but it's how you got there that's different. But then there's like chapters where there's like 5 different outcomes, and it's very different and stuff like that.
Like there's one chapter where you have to find somewhere to stay, basically, and there's like 5 different options of where to stay. Well, and not only does that chapter then branch off because of where you stayed, the next chapter has like one branch with loads of branches on it, and then a different branch that starts based on what happened in the other chapter.
There's 3 different places you can stay, but like one of them you need money, so like you can go and choose to get the money somehow. Another one's not very comfortable, but it's safe, but you got to find a way in. There's another one where you can get there immediately it's very safe but really not comfortable and stuff like that. And it changes how it plays out in later chapters as well.
Yeah.
Like if you choose one of them, you'll never meet a certain character, which limits something that happens later on in the game, stuff like that.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Did I meet that character?
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay.
But yeah, I've never gone for the super comfortable, but you have to like go get money route, because I don't know, just whenever I've tried, I've not read the requirements for it and stuff like that. But it's fun, like, and like the best. I really like Kara because obviously that Quantic Dream demo they did a while ago. Like I wanted to have that be turned into a game, and eventually it was, and you can play as her and stuff. So I really like her, and she's got a really interesting story. She just trying to be a mother to this girl, and the girl obviously wants a mother because she doesn't have one and stuff. And it's a really beautiful like family like relationship they've got. And then there's Connor.
That's me.
He's this new prototype android who's trying to track down all these deviants when the androids when they start feeling emotions and stuff, and they have their own agendas, and he's in charge of tracking them down. But he's paired up with a human cop who's very broken, and he doesn't like androids, and they have a really nice dynamic and stuff like that. And then there's Marcus, who is also a prototype, and he was gifted to a painter called Carl, and he was gifted to him directly by the guy who made the androids. And he's a prototype, and he ends up being in charge of the android revolution, and you can choose to be peaceful or violent and stuff like that. And I think out of all of them, Connor and Connor is my favorite. I like his dynamic with
a lot of people have been saying that.
Yeah, he's just brilliant. Like, you have to, for a trophy, you've got to play the game with him being super like aggressive and whatnot. And it was so hard because I really like it when him and Hank, the cop, end up being best friends and whatnot, because it's really like heartwarming, and it's just nice to see.
Yeah.
Doing the opposite of that, I'm like, fucking, this sucks.
Yeah.
It's very bleak and awful, and it don't feel right. But yeah, I mean, the story's really good. There's a few like goofy moments. Which comes from like that sort of game. It was in Heavy Rain a lot. It was definitely in Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
It's a bit. I feel like they've got a handle on it a bit more this time around. Like obviously they've still got to gamify certain things, so there's a bit awkward here and there. But more often than not, it's brilliant. And like they've obviously done a full motion capture, performance capture. So when a character starts crying and their eyes are blinking and the face is doing all these things that you do when you cry, you see it on the character, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm definitely going to go back to it. It's definitely the best Quantic Dream game they've made.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing through again. I haven't even finished my first playthrough, but
yeah. It's brilliant, a really good premise as well. I will note though that people have been nitpicking, saying like there's two sides of it mainly. Some people are all like, "Oh, I can't believe that they're trying to say something about slavery," and then there's other people who are saying they are saying stuff about slavery, but they're not saying it well enough. It's very on the nose, and then I'm like, David Cage says that it's just an Android story, like a really cool Android game. They're not trying to say anything.
It's not a commentary.
Yeah, and I'm like, they can use experiences from the past, like the whole slavery thing.
That's what writers do. That's how it works.
They can draw parallels to it without trying to say something about it.
Yeah,
and I think people have forgotten about that in this day and age, because movies and TV series and games all now have something to say about something.
I can see why you would jump to that conclusion. That it was a commentary on, like segregation of the blacks in America.
Yeah,
because there's one of the first examples of this segregation is, as Marcus, you get on a bus, and there's an Android section at the back of the bus.
Like it draws a lot of parallels, but
I
don't think he's trying to say anything.
I'm not saying it is trying to say anything. I'm just.
You can see why, I can definitely see why people say that, but I don't know. I think everyone's trying to find meanings in things these days, and it does made in. But I think they also, by the way, like one of my favorite parts of the whole game is there's an android girl on the main menu who will communicate with you.
Oh yeah, I have. She's only She ran me through that survey.
Yeah,
and then she hasn't said anything else.
She is in the game. You will meet her at some point, and it's pretty cool. And you learn more about her when you meet her.
Oh, cool.
But she's not a major character, so don't expect something amazing. But she's in the menu, and like she'll comment on how you play in the game and stuff like that. And if you let a character die, she'll be angry and sad that they died and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's really.
It's quite a clever way for you to pick up the game and be reminded of what you did last.
Apparently, as well, it hasn't happened to me. But if you play in the game and it suddenly crashes, when you boot up again, she'll apologise for the crash.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, Menu Girl is one of my favourite things about that game. Oh yeah, I was going to say, if you leave her idle enough, she'll sing a song, and apparently it's a song about slavery. And I think people using that as one of the main points is like, oh, they're trying to say something about slavery.
I thought she was supposed to be unbiased.
She changes whenever you play the game, basically. She comments on how you play.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty fun. She makes you do a survey as well, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely play it. Don't try and... I wouldn't say if you think it's going to say something massive about slavery that's going to change the way we see it, probably don't play it. Or at least change the way you think about it. But I would definitely recommend people play it, especially if you're into that sort of stuff, like cinematic experiences, storytelling.
How are we doing for time?
We are on like an hour and 5 minutes. Is there not something else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk about Hyrule Warriors.
All right, we can squeeze that in if you want.
Yeah, I reckon we can squeeze that in.
Let's do it.
So,
Hyrule Warriors.
Due to me being down in the dumps, as they say.
Are you going to explain the story about how you got it?
My girlfriend and Ash colluded behind my back to get from me information of what to buy me. My girlfriend wanted to buy me something to cheer me up, and
so she recruited me
tell her
to figure it out.
And then Ash's way of figuring it out was to say, "Yo, what do you want me to buy you?"
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't just go, "Oh, buy me this," but you were like asking me about Switch games I wanted to play or something. So I said I was legitimately gonna buy Hyrule Warriors the day my bank account got scammed, but obviously couldn't because of that. And so that same day, my girlfriend came home a bit late with Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah. See, my thinking with that was, if I start asking you about things that you wanted to buy yourself, you'd probably cotton on. Mm-hmm. So I was like, if I just come out with saying like I want to buy you something, you'll think it's coming from me, but then obviously when your girlfriend brought it, you'd be like, oh, dickhead. But like when I was doing that, I was like, oh, he's gonna notice, because like, when have I ever been kind and supportive and wanted to do something nice for you? So you'd be like, dude, what are you trying to pull here?
Yeah.
But you fucking fell for it.
It was
it's a good job I wasn't trying to scam you, mate.
And what's your mother's maiden name?
But yeah, go ahead. We've not really spoke about it.
No, yeah, obviously we don't, because of the podcast. We don't tend to talk as much about things because I always want to save it. So, because I want this podcast to be pretty genuine, and if I talk to you about something and then we come into the podcast and I'm telling you about the same thing, you've got to pretend you haven't heard it before. Then it just sort of kills it, doesn't it? So, but yes, it's really, really good, man. So, it's a Warriors game, which is apparently what they're called now, which means it's made by the people who used to make Danish Warriors, or still do, but fucking don't give a shit about their own IP anymore.
Yeah.
Just fuck it up all the time. But it is the best Warriors game I played, and the Fire Emblem Heroes Warriors game wasn't great. It's basically that. Like, there's the same type of collectibles, and you get them the same way. You get 1,000 kills, something appears on the map, you got to find it, get the collectible.
Is there a story? Does it make more sense than the Fire
There is
Emblem
a story, and it's great, and it makes a lot of sense, and it's really, really cool. And just one thing I want to say before I move on to all that. You know how Warriors games generally have like a type of soundtrack? You know, there's a lot of electric guitar.
Yeah.
So they've done like Warriors versions of Zelda soundtracks.
All right.
And like thrown in heavy electric guitars and shit, and they sound really, really cool. There's one level where you've got to get the Master Sword, and it's sort of at the Temple of Time, I think.
Right.
And I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I'll just have to show you it later. But the soundtrack for it is just so cool.
Yeah.
So just remind me to show you that. But yeah, it's basically the story is the original world in Hyrule Warriors, the original Hyrule, is not linked to any games.
Right.
So you've got. It starts off the same way. Link is training to be a knight at Zelda's castle. Zelda sees Link. She's like, "Oh, there's danger coming. Let's use him." Whatever.
You mean she gets thirsty?
But also, Impa is there. Impa's usually an old lady. I think she's in Breath of the Wild, isn't she? She's the old Sheikah woman. But she's not an old woman in this one. She's a young, white-haired fighter with a massive sword. She's what I imagine Urbosa would be like if she was in the game. So that is the disappointing thing about it. There's no Breath of the Wild stuff. I was really looking forward to like running around as Urbosa and cutting people up.
Yeah, but didn't Breath of the Wild?
Yeah,
I think it come out before
it came
Breath
out
of the
before.
Wild. Yeah.
They've added Breath of the Wild content. There's a costume for Link with his like blue tunic and stuff, which is cool. So far in the story, rifts have opened up into the other Zelda universes.
Okay.
So the 3 universes which I've experienced so far, I don't know if they're going to add more. Ocarina of Time. So you get all these like little goofy skeletons with big teeth running around, and Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
So there's like a creepy atmosphere. There's lots of like dark magic around, and that like weird patterned like digital wormhole shit that they do.
Yeah.
And Midna's in it. She gets around and attacks people using a wolf that looks like Wolf Link, but it's not Wolf Link, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the third one is Skyward Sword, which nobody likes.
Yeah.
And I got the impression that those were the only 3 universes that were going to be in it. But there's like an extra game mode you can play. I haven't tried it yet. But it's split up by game. And you go through a story set in that game world, and presumably with characters from that game world. And like the first one is the first Zelda. The second one is Wind Waker, which I'm probably going to do first because that was my favourite Zelda.
Yeah.
But what I don't get about the game is they've thrown in a lot of stuff that people didn't like about previous Zeldas, and which Nintendo got rid of because people didn't like it. But then the Warriors team, in an effort to make an homage to these games, has for some reason brought them back, but they're not good things. First of all, the emphasis on Skyward Sword and Skyward Sword characters is bizarre to me because that's their least popular
IP.
Well, spin-off IP of Zelda.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of characters from that. There's a lot of enemies from that. There's this one enemy which I've had to fight twice called the Unchained or something. No, not that. Something about it being released.
Okay.
I cannot remember what it's called. The something. But it's just this big.
Unshackled.
It's just this big mass of scales with a crocodile mouth.
Yeah.
And big toes. That's it.
Right.
It's the least creative design I've ever seen, and it's just awful. But it keeps coming back. So yeah, I'm hoping there's... Because the version that I got, the Definitive Edition, has like Ravio from the 3DS game, which was really good. It's got the villain from the 3DS game. It's got Toon Zelda from the sort of Wind Waker / Spirit Tracks storyline universe thing.
Does it have amiibo capabilities?
Yeah, I've put a Urbosa on it. I got some armor.
Right.
And I've used Ganondorf on it, and I got some like upgrade materials or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really. I'm really enjoying it. Oh, and Linkle. I need to tell you about Linkle. So you remember when we heard that they were going to throw a female Zelda into Hyrule Warriors years and years ago, and we were like, what are they doing that for? They just trying.
Zelda is female.
Oh, what the fuck happened there? A female Link. My word. I apologise to all Zelda fans all over the world.
As a Zelda fan, I accept your apology.
Yeah, female Link. Wow. She's called Linkle as well.
Zelda.
What was I saying? Yeah, it was we thought it was just them trying to appease the outrage culture, basically.
The feminists.
Yeah, exactly. But she is awesome. She's one of my favorite characters in the game. She's really cool. So she thinks that she is the hero of Hyrule, the hero of time.
Right.
She grew up with her grandma telling her that she was the hero, so she made her own like green tunic and stuff to look like the hero of Hyrule. Her weapons are crossbows, which is it's really shit to use, but
Yeah.
whatever. They're also full auto. But yeah, so she grew up on a farm that she looked after cuckoos, you know, little chicken things. She has a magic compass and a map. Those are her items: magic compass and a map. She gets lost a lot. The whole story so far, she's been trying to get to Hyrule Castle and hasn't been able to. She's gone to every different like universe rift or whatever, but not managed to get to Hyrule Castle yet. And the way her story starts, when she sets off, she comes to a crossroads and looks at the map and she's like, and then goes off one way, and then the camera pans back and there's a sign pointing to Hyrule Castle in the other direction. But yeah, the first level you play as her. Obviously, she doesn't have the armies of Hyrule behind her, so her army is just cuckoos. So she's got all these chickens fighting for her, and like every now and then you can get one to a feeding area and it'll turn into a golden cuckoo and it's fucking indestructible.
Yeah. Do you know what this talk has got me wishing for now? Another Zelda game on the Switch where you can choose to play as either Link or Linkle.
Yeah.
Like
that
you could
cool, yeah.
like
but it'd have a different story.
It would have
start off in a different way.
Yeah, it would have worked out so well with Breath of the Wild, where Link never woke up from the restoration chamber, so Link will have to take over.
Yeah, and she lived there. She wasn't like frozen. She wasn't 100 years old. She just like that would have been awesome. Yeah,
and was like, well, fuck, waiting for this legendary warrior to come back. I'm gonna sort it out myself.
Been really cool.
Brilliant. Also, I really want to play that mod. A bit off topic, but that mod where there's a group of modders who have got the Wii U version, and they've put it on PC, and it runs perfectly fine, and they've got access to the files, and they're putting Zelda in it, so you can play as Zelda, which is just really cool.
Yeah, you can play as Zelda in Hyrule Warriors.
Nice. It's not Breath of the Wild. Zelda's better though, mate. She is thick.
There are not as many characters as I thought there would be, and a lot of them are not that cool, like not really who. But yeah, like I said, the definitive edition that I've got, there's more characters supposed to be in there, but I haven't seen any of them. Like apparently you can play as Tingle and Ravio, which is this rabbit guy that rents weapons out to you so you can do dungeons, because that was like the first Zelda game that wasn't linear. You could pick which dungeon you wanted to go to, and you'd rent the weapon you needed for that dungeon. And he turns out to be Dark Link.
Right.
Well, not Dark Link, but Link from another side of the coin.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be cool once I get to use them. But I was really, really hoping there'd be some DLC where you could play as Urbosa.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
And the others that I also care about.
Yeah, Rivali, clearly the best one.
Oh god.
Mifa, and what's that other one? Turok? I don't know, something like that.
There's two characters you can play as who are from the Ocarina of Time storyline.
Yeah. Or
Majora's Mask, maybe Majora's Mask. One is Azora. So she's basically Mifa. She's called Rito. She's from the Ocarina / Majora's Mask era of games. Timeline. I think they're the same timeline. And then there's another one who's a Goron.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what his name is, but he's also from there. You might as well be playing as the one from Breath of the Wild, but yeah, I'd rather play as Urbosa. I don't think there is a... I can't remember what her race is called either. I'm such a good Zelda fan.
Yeah, you are. Gerudo?
Yeah, Gerudo.
Gerudo.
I don't think there is a Gerudo you can play as. It's a shame.
Oh well. It's a fun game though, yeah? Definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, well, I won't say you need to pick it up because obviously you'll get it from
I'll
me.
just borrow your copy. I mean, I think I've earned the right.
Yeah. Alright, well, now I'm done. Now we can end the podcast.
Yeah,
Unless
1 minute 20. Plug our social media stuff.
Yep.
bruv.
So as I said last time, in case you missed it, we're now on Instagram, Untitled-2 Podcast, and we're still on Twitter at UT2Cast. Follow us on Twitter for that's because I'll post the podcasts when a new podcast comes out. I'll post them on both. I also post highlights on both, and then different highlights every day on each social media, so you won't see the same thing on both. And on Twitter, I'll just post extra shit. Like if I've got something to say or a screenshot from a game, I'll put it on Twitter because it's more convenient. I'm also on Facebook. I mean, we're also on Facebook, but I mean, I don't really care if you go on there or not.
We don't.
Interaction on Facebook is abysmal.
We don't want to pay them to get our shit
just so
seen.
you can see our content. Yeah. So thanks for listening. We really appreciate that, and we'll see you next week.
I want to show Linkle my winkle.
How long have you been sitting on that one?
My winkle.